next game is the game Portugal versus Colombia. Let's start. What are your thoughts?
Portugal versus Colombia was I would say it was one of the most exciting games I've watched as well in this World Cup so far. Even though both teams have already qualified for the next round, but they were both playing for the same thing, to be on top of the group, to lead the group. But what I've seen, first half was pretty much balanced. But Colombia, attacking wise, I was more impressed with their attacking. So they were attacking quite aggressively. In fact, they were aggressive throughout the whole game. There was no letting up. So I was expecting also Portugal, they got some good wide players, overlap players, Mendes and this guy, what's he called, Pedro Neto. I wasn't expecting Ronaldo to be doing those striking back and much of running. I expect him to be in the box, trying to finish whatever opportunity he came across with. But that wasn't the case. Here and there, Portugal will have a counter attack, but in all honesty, Colombia was on top of their game. They should have even won, because at the very last minute, Colombia even scored. Then the goal was ruled out when they were offside. But yeah, man, that shouldn't even be offside. I've seen that they checked the VAR. They were checking some even, I don't even know what they were looking at. So, but yeah, this VAR, it's too many controversy. But yeah, for my perspective, Portugal, they need to go and watch that game, knowing that they didn't perform in that game. That game was entirely Colombia disaster in that game last night.
What were the mistakes?
Well, for Portugal, it's the whole Portugal. It's just like look at their fourth game. I think the Portugal, they are for some reason it's not working. Even their first game, that's why I didn't understand why people were blaming Ronaldo for. But definitely, yes, last night's game was a proof. Ronaldo was not any fault in it, because it's the same way they played yesterday. That's the same style they did against their first match against these people, DR Congo. So that's why they went and drew that game. So the same kind of play. So they were here and there. They would have counter attack, but they are defensive. They defend well, but they keep losing the ball. Some players keep losing the ball, and they were just struggling, to how to call it, to understand, these players. Colombia win players. Colombia has a very good wide players. Luis Diaz was in the pitch. He was unbelievable last night. He had a really, really good game. So Portugal was just struggling, with fast-paced football. Colombia was pretty much doing. that was even the difference. Because in order to understand your opponent, if Colombia was moving the ball slow, a little bit slow, Portugal could have maybe adapt to that or trying to make some changes. But Colombia was just not letting it up. They were just too fast. The game was moving so fast. So I like the game. I enjoy it. So that means that was a good skills in that pitch. Really good skills with players.
Portugal kept on losing the ball, wasn't it?
Portugal their players, they keep losing the ball, just unnecessarily. So Ronaldo was, he wasn't having any, service as well. In order for him to score, he needed service, but Ronaldo wasn't having a service. So there's not much he can do about it. So
he wasn't being fed.
He wasn't being fed. That's why I said he wasn't getting the service that he needed. A player like Ronaldo now, he's at a time he relies on finishing goals. Like if you pass him the ball, he will score definitely, just like their last game. But Ronaldo did have some decent chances, but he missed one of the chances. I thought that he should have scored, but that turned out to be offside as well. But even though it wasn't offside, he could have missed that as well. So that also is a factor. But still, without that, Portugal could have created a lot of chances if they play, up to their strength or to their expectation, but they didn't. So credit to Colombia.